Absence from the state tournament. Minneapolis North is back and gunning for a rematch with Minnehaha Academy. But first, they'll have to get past Esko, who's making their sixth state trip to the state tournament in 7 years. It's a cold clash in Minneapolis tonight as the Eskimos square off against the Polars. Next on Prep Spotlight TV.
PrepSpotlight.tv, in partnership with the Minnesota State High School League and 45 TV, presents coverage of the 2019 boys basketball state quarterfinals. This comprehensive coverage is supported by the McDonald's Franchise Owners of Minnesota. Further your education and achieve your dreams with McDonald's, archways to opportunity.
And good evening, everyone. I'm Bill Hupp for Prep Spotlight TV here at the Barn at Williams Arena in Minneapolis, where tonight we should have a good one to start off our first of two Class 2A quarterfinal doubleheaders. Two going on at Target Center, and then two tonight, obviously, at Williams Arena. And the first matchup tonight sees the Esko Eskimos at 20-10, representing Section 7, facing off against the Section 5 champs, Minneapolis North, and the Polars. We'll get into the matchup more as we go along, but Esko, as we said, making their sixth straight trip to the state tournament in the last 7 years. They dropped a triple overtime heartbreaker to St. Cloud Cathedral in the state quarterfinals last year. They lost a 500-win coach in Mike Devney and three starters, including 7'3" Adam Trapp. But they are back here with head coach Derek Anderson in his first season back at the state tournament, a place they're well familiar with. As we said, 6 trips in the last 7 years. Minneapolis North, meanwhile, was upset by Brooklyn Center last year in the section final, so they didn't make it to state after having won titles in 16 and 17. They're looking for a return trip. They come in seeded second in Class AA, and they expect to be competing deep in this state tournament. We will have the starting lineups and the opening tip from Williams Arena in a moment. You are watching high school boys basketball on PrepSpotlight.tv.
Today's coverage is also brought to you in part by the Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation, treating addiction, transforming lives. The Urgency Room, in fast, home soon. And Minnesota Chiefs of Police Association, dedicated to the ideals of professional policing.
Head coach is Deborah Pye. That's the
And the public address announcer introducing the cheerleading squads for both schools. And we talked about Esko coming in, led by head coach Derek Anderson. He credits the team's success to ball movement, acceptance of roles, and enjoying the moment. And he talked about how there's a lot of kids that have been here before from his team, so they know what it takes to get here. A lot of kids that had to step up after not playing as much last year. He dealt with a lot of injuries, but finally got healthy and started putting some things together. Missing guys like Peyton Weefel and Camden Berger for multiple games at a time, but you know they face a challenge in Minneapolis North. They obviously play fast and with a lot of pressure, so he thinks the key for his Eskimos tonight is to be able to handle the basketball, get up and down, take care of the ball, and play with the poise that he's come to expect from this veteran group. And Anderson knows these kids. He coached the JV the last 4 years, and then before that had coached 8th grade, and he feels like that made the transition a lot easier. And really, as he said, just talking about buying in each player, not complaining about playing time, just buying into their various roles. But, they rolled to that Section 7 AA championship, winning each game by double figures. Their average margin of victory in section play, 21 points. So Esko, a little bit of chip on their shoulder after folks doubted them. They came in seeded second in the section, but they rolled to that section title. And they are back where they are comfortable in March, and that is playing in Minneapolis for a state championship. Meanwhile, Minneapolis North, led by head coach Larry McKenzie, won his 400th career game this season. He's won 6 state championships. He'd love to add another. Obviously have Minnehaha Academy, the top seed in the class, in their way, but he has talked about that being a motivation for putting together the most competitive schedule that you can play. He says it's all about preparing for the tournament. There are 2 seasons, one where you can build up your record, and then one where you play for the title. It gets us ready for big games, for tough games. Now, they lost some kids. Trey Holloman went to Cretin-Derham Hall. They lost Odell Wilson, who's now playing in the NCAA tournament for North Dakota State. They don't have a big star, so he, like Esko, Minneapolis North thought that maybe people doubted him as we wait for the Polars to take the floor. He thought maybe people would doubt him because they don't have a definitive star on this team. But he said, as a collective, this is the best team I've ever had. They've had to share the responsibilities. They don't have a star, but they played together. And he said all these guys have been laser focused the last week or two because we got to earn that rematch with Minnehaha. So his team has been laser focused, and we'll see how sharp they come out tonight. As we said, defensive pressure, 4 players with 60 or more steals on the team. And the leading thief on Esko's team has just 49. There's just 1 on Esko's team with over 30. So that just goes to show you how much Minneapolis North wants to turn you over, speed you up, and use their athleticism to get up and down the floor. Now we will turn it over to the public address announcer for the starting lineup.
With a record of 21 wins and 9 losses, their 8th tournament appearance, the Esko Eskimos. And the home team, the 5 AA champions, their 22nd appearance in the state tournament, a record of 21 wins and 9 losses, Minneapolis North Polars. We'll introduce the entire squads. First, the non-starters line up along their respective free throw line, please, as your name is called. Number 1, Eli Blue. Number 2, Hubie Gonserowski. 3, James Lagarde. 4, Preston Lowe. 5, Dylan Vingy. 11, Sam Ringo. 13, Cade Berger. 23, Corey Kama. 22, Braden Gable. 31, Peyton Koskela. And 42, Chad Hart. And now the non-starters for the Polars. Number 4, Jermaine Harden. 5, Mario Sanders. 11, Jacob Butler. 13, Clifford Brown III. 15, Frashawn Collins. 20, Keyshawn Walker. 21, Josh Hodges. 30, Miko Anderson. 44, Darius Hansen. And 50, Chester Watley Jr. And now the starting lineups alternately for Esko. At forward, a 6-foot junior, number 25, Trevor Spindler. For North, at forward, a 6-foot senior, number 1, Omar Brown. For Esko, at forward, a 6'3" sophomore, number 21, Riley Fisher. For North, a 6'6" sophomore and center, number 35, Devon Townley Jr. For Esko at guard, a 6-foot senior, number 35, Camden Berger. Minneapolis North at guard, a 6'1" freshman, number 24, Willie Wilson. For Esko at guard, a 6-foot junior, number 20, Peyton Weethel. The Polars at guard, a 6-foot senior, number 12, Nasser El Amin. And for Esko, at guard, a 6'4" senior, number 15, John Stodola. For North at guard, a 6' senior, number 2, Eli Campbell. The head coach for Esko, Derek Anderson. Head coach for North, Larry McKenzie. The officials for this game, your referee is Tom Schiller, umpire Adam Palin, and umpire Josh Schoaf.
So the starters for Minneapolis North and Esko have been introduced. Minneapolis North will be in the blue uniforms with the black piping, white numerals and white lettering. Esko in the white with gold numerals and lettering, blue and white trim. Good presence from the Esko band to our right. Again, the starters for Esko, it'll be Stodola, Weefel, Fisher, Spindler, and Berger. For Minneapolis North, Brown, Campbell, Elamine, Wilson, and Townley Jr. Townley Jr. and Fisher will get us started with a jump. And it's one back by the Polars. And Nasir Elamine will walk it across the timeline. If that name sounds familiar, it's because he is the nephew of Khalid Elamine, former Minneapolis North star. He pulls up and gets nothing on that shot. The good news for North is it allows them to set up their full court press, so not an entirely bad miss. 1-2-2 full court trap that, again, just tries to speed opponents up, and they've been very successful. And right here, they get their hands on the basketball and take it away. Clifford Brown gives for Elamine, who pulls up on the right wing. Between the legs dribble, man-to-man defense employed by Esko. Omar Brown. Off the pick. Hands for Eli Campbell, who dials it up from the left wing. Too strong and grabbed by Stodola. No score, about a minute gone by first half. Nice move to get to the rack and score by leading scorer Trevor Spindler. I beg your pardon, that was Camden Berger who got on the board. So Camden Berger gets his first bucket. And we'll see if turnovers play a factor as that goes off the hands of Devon Townley Jr. First turnover of the game for the Polars. And they're using Berger with his size to inbound the ball. They've clearly practiced their press break all week. As this is Spindler. Hands for Camden Berger, top of the key. Watched by Willie Wilson. He gets it back in the left corner. Cut off by Omar Brown. Tough shot. And Brown, and then stepping on the end line, Townley Jr. tried to save it into Brown, but couldn't. So it remains on this end with the Eskimos. 16:20 to play first half. 2-0. Pass behind Spindler, but he collects. Esko looking a little out of sync in their half-court offense, and that's what the pressure of Minneapolis North will do to you. Patiently trying to get into this switching zone. And sort of switching man on top of the key. Brown swapped at it from behind, deflects it right to Berger at the free throw line, and he hits. Camden Berger, the 6-foot senior guard who's looking at Wisconsin Superior for college, has the first 4 points of the ball game, and the Eskimos lead 4-0. Elamine gives for Eli Campbell, the best three-point shooter on this North team, and not even close. Hesitation dribble, gives for Wilson. Elamine attacks with the left hand. Bumped by Berger. Wilson just dribbling at the top of the key, foot on the line, and he hits. Just a 2 for Willie Wilson, but he gets the Polars on the board. For Esko, the key will be how well they can take care of the basketball, how patient they can be in the half court. How willing are they to work to get a good shot? And can they slow this game down and reduce the number of possessions? Stodola picks up the dribble. Back for Berger, top of the key. Rimming, no. Campbell tracks down the loose ball. Campbell spins off a defender and picks up the dribble. Back for Elamine. Bounce down low to Townley Jr. Cut off by Stodola. Spins over the left shoulder and lays it in. Devon Townley Jr. showing some nifty footwork after he was initially stopped by big 6'4" John Stodola. North definitely the bigger of the two teams here today. Weefel from the corner. Townley Jr. clears. Campbell gives for Townley Jr. in the middle of the lane. Another nice spin move. And another score. The sophomore center will have a size mismatch all game, and that may be their plan, is just go down low. They're not a big three-point shooting team, and they have a 6-4 lead at a 6-0 run after they miss their first couple shots. Stodola turns, gives back for Riley Fisher. And a reach is going to be called on Eli Campbell. Minneapolis North, their 22nd appearance in the state tournament. For Esko, the 8th. And as we said, they've been here 6 times in the last 7 years. So it's definitely a burgeoning basketball program in the Iron Range. Spindler gets into the lane and lays it in. And Minneapolis North wants to take a timeout, so we will as well. 6-6, we're tied here, 13-16 left to play first half. You're watching high school boys basketball, PrepSpotlight.tv.
Did you know teenage girls are not immune to addiction? If you're worried your teen might be using alcohol or other drugs, trust the experts at the Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation. Find resources at hazeldenbettyford.org/hope.
While Minnesota high schools pursue victories, students across the state are also pursuing a college education with help from McDonald's. Archways to Opportunity provides tuition assistance to restaurant employees. Crew members receive $2,500 per year for college, managers $3,000 per year. Tuition assistance applies to community colleges, four-year universities, or trade schools. For more information, visit mcdonalds.com/education.
Elamine takes the basketball in the base of the M, gives back for Campbell, right wing. Down low for Townley Jr., who's doubled out of the timeout. Good ball movement to Willie Wilson, far side. Decides to swing it back to Elamine, top of the key. Bumped, can't finish, but Fisher commits the personal foul, and Nasir Elamine will go to the free throw line.
The Esko foul number 21, Riley Fisher. First, team first.
Fisher's first, and the team's first as well. So Nasir Elamine knocks down the first free throw. He's a 76% free throw shooter on the season. As we said, Khalid Elamine's nephew. Khalid, a Minneapolis North legend and UConn star as well. Nasir Elamine buries 2 free throws and gives the Polars another 2-point lead. 8-6, 12:51 left first half. Berger doubled at the top of the key. And they're pressing way out. Underneath for Stodola. And they're just doubling everything, and Eli Campbell steals it. Campbell, in and out dribble. Loses his footing, and a block is going to be called. Berger can't believe it as he was just backing up, but Campbell did bang into him, so Camden Berger, his first foul, as Minneapolis North will lob it for Townley, who leaves it short, and Berger clears. Nice little inbounds play. Berger passed it back. I'm not sure why. He was looking for Fisher. Stadola tracks it down. The hands just in the passing lane constantly for the blue and black of Minneapolis North. And it's clear that Esko has not faced this kind of speed, but that's a long-range three for Peyton Weefel. Peyton Weefel, the team's best three-point shooter, gives Esko the lead once more. Townley Jr. can't get the layup to go, but a foul is called on Berger, and the depth of Esko might be tested here tonight, as Berger has already picked up his second, one of the key players for this Eskimo team, as he averages 14 and 4 rebounds a game. He also leads the team in assists, so a very important player as Townley misses the first. Townley Jr., 57% free throw shooter, 65 makes on the year. And he's 0 for 2 on this trip. Berger will walk it up against Campbell, 9-8. Esko leading Minneapolis North with 11:45 left. Bounce top of the key. Spindler off the mark. Wilson down the left wing. Decides to back it out and give for Elamine right wing. He'll dial up a triple. Hard off the back iron. It's back tap by Brown and grabbed by Fisher. 2-on-1 for Esko. Fisher drops it and laid up for Peyton Weefel. Weefel's got 5. It's 11-8. A 5-0 run for Esko. Campbell. Hesitation dribble. Underneath for Townley, and it's stolen away by Fisher. Good read by Riley Fisher, who came down to take that pass away. Unofficially, 3 turnovers now on Minneapolis North. He's trying to dial up the pressure. Berger directing traffic, trying to settle things down as Minneapolis North drops back to the man-to-man. Berger pulls up, fouled, and count it. Camden Berger using the old jump stop. Fundamental play from the senior. He gets the bucket and earns the foul. Berger leading all scorers right now with 6 points. And they're leaving him out there with 2 fouls, as Coach Anderson knows how important he is to this team. 78% free throw shooter on the year, drops it in.
He's number 13, also number 44, Darius Hansen. And for Esko, 31, Peyton Cascella.
Darius Hansen in for Minneapolis North, and Peyton Cascella checks in for Esko. 14-8. An 8-2 run right now for the Eskimos. Campbell tried to drop a pass but lost it. Jump ball called. And I believe the possession arrow will be in favor of Esko. Yep. Goes back to the Eskimos. .10:30 to play first half. 14-8. The Iron Rangers on top of the Minneapolis City champs. Minneapolis North. Fisher up top for Spindler. Far side Weefel. Switching everything up top. Good move by Fisher to get to the bucket. Draws the personal as Eli Campbell was inside the restricted area. So Fisher draws the blocking foul, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2. Willie Wilson will get set to return, as that's going to be the second on Campbell.
Riley Fisher shooting. No substitution.
Fisher long on the first. Comes in averaging 4.5 points a game. And he hits 1 of 2. 15-8. Minneapolis North has gone ice cold after being down early 4-0 and then going on a 6-4 run there. El-Amin draws the personal foul, so he'll go back to the free throw line where he is 2 for 2 tonight. When the shot's not dropping, attack the basket. They had so much success pounding it inside to Townley Jr. They kind of went away from that, and that's when Esko made their run. El-Amin's first effort rims out. 5 team fouls now, or 4 team fouls rather, on Esko. And a big mistake here for Esko as they stepped on the end line. Trevor Spindler, as he was looking to inbound the ball, stepped across the end line. So turnover as Townley Jr. returns. And North will inbound underneath the Esko basket. Nearly a 5-second call, but finally they chuck it long for El-Amin. Hesitation dribble, gets to the rim again, can't draw the personal foul. Brown gets a hand on it, tries to save it as he goes tumbling into the Esko bench, but it's going to remain with the Eskimos. El-Amin grabbing his right calf, right ankle, as he limps off.
Number 2,
Eli Campbell replaces him, so we hope he's okay as he goes and gets medical attention. James Lagarde, the 5'7" junior, into the game for the first time. He gets to the basket and scores. James Lagarde into the game, makes an immediate impact. Now the run's 11-3. Clifford Brown III, also into the game for the first time, gives for Willie Wilson. Wilson from a right elbow. Too strong. And how about the 5'7" junior guard grabbing down the rebound? He breaks the pressure, bumped by Omar Brown, and Brown steals it. Omar Brown nearly loses the dribble, but he lays it in. Manages to recapture it and lay it in. Third turnover unofficially on the Eskimos. 17-11. Now another turnover forced. Willie Wilson with the layup. Esko takes a timeout, and we will too. They lead Minneapolis North 17-13 with 8:46 left to play first half. You're watching high school boys basketball on Prep Spotlight TV.
Are you sick? Got the flu? Do you feel not right? Hit your head so hard that you lost your sight? Who to call? Where to go? With your plight? The emergency room, that's right.
The Minnesota Chiefs of Police Association is proud to support the coverage on Prep Spotlight TV. Many of the men and women serving in Minnesota law enforcement first learned about teamwork as high school athletes. Stay tuned to hear their stories and find out why they choose to wear the badge.
Fans, post your pictures and videos and tag MN Prep Spotlight to share the fun of state basketball on PrepSpotlight.tv. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at MN Prep Spotlight. Bill Hupp alongside Kit Callis and Mike Peterson bringing you Class AA state tournament basketball action from the barn here at Williams Arena. 2 straight steals and layups by Minneapolis North forced Derek Anderson to take a timeout. And also bring in some new troops, including Corey Kama, 6'1" senior guard out there. And another turnover. Campbell converts. Eli Campbell's first basket. We'll see if that gets him going. 3 straight steals and layups by Minneapolis North has the Pullers within 2. And a hand check foul called on Willie Wilson.
Willie Wilson, his first 4th team. 23.
That pressure is relentless from Minneapolis North, and they're okay if it takes them a little while to break you down, but eventually they expect to wear you down, and it allows them to get back into ball games even when their shots aren't falling. Lagarde. Weefel. Watched by Elamine as he picks up the dribble. Stodola bounces for Berger. Weefel. Wilson gives for Elamine, who pushes. Gets into the lane. Drops it. Nice pass. Missing the layup. Hodges. And Josh Hodges finishes his own miss. And a 6'5 senior forward ties us at 17. 7:45 to play first half. Good drive by Lagarde, and it's swatted out of there by Hodges. Ball falls to Berger, who gets into the lane and scores. Beautiful little turnaround move by Camden Berger. He's got 9. He still has those 2 fouls, so Wilson probing. Misses. Townley Jr. yanked down by Stodola. And he draws the foul.
Esko foul 15. John Stodola is first.
First on John Stodola. Team 5th. And Townley Jr., who's 0 for 2 at the charity stripe tonight, goes back to the line, and he can't buy a bucket. As that one rolls out. He has been a force in the post, especially early on. Oh for 2 again on that trip for Townley Jr. And they'll just clear out and let Berger bring it across. Spindler loses it. I'm not sure why Hodges decided to touch it. It looked like it was going out of bounds back to North, but he couldn't get a handle on it, so Cam Berger will inbound the basketball in front of the Esko faithful here at Williams Arena. Spindler crosses over. Gets to the rack and scores. Trevor Spindler. Nice crossover after his defender anticipated him going right. Elamine. Into the lane and scores. Nasir Elamine has 5 points. That's his first basket of the night. Keeping the Pullers within striking distance. 21-19. 6.5 minutes to go, first half. They're able to get into the lane as that 3 will rattle home. Riley Fisher, his first triple of the night. Elamine hands for Wilson, top of the key. Townley Jr. They're going to shadow him, sort of half double him. Pulled up from the foul line. Berger collects the miss. Good hands in the passing lane by Wilson to knock it out of bounds. Darius Hansen, a 6'6" junior forward, returns. And Omar Brown does as well, as he squares up against Spindler. Trevor Spindler just not finding any breathing room. That 3 from the corner is short. Elamine pushes ahead for Brown. 3-pointer for Clifford Brown is good. Clifford Brown III, the sophomore, the first 3-pointer of the night for Minneapolis North. Weefel picks up the dribble and turns it over. Wilson picks his pocket. Clifford, a floater, that's short. Spindler clears. He's trapped but gets it back to Berger. Drives into the middle of the lane and draws the personal. First on Nasir Elamine. 5 minutes left to play in the first half. Cam Berger goes back to the free throw line. He's 1 for 1 today. .14 points, 4.27 rebounds per game, more than 3 assists a game. Berger scored his 1,000th point this season. And a very well-deserved second-team all-conference selection. Long on the second, but the rebound by Fisher. He can't get it to go. And that one is cleared by Minneapolis North. Campbell, jab step, probing the defense, pops from 3. That's off the mark. 25-22 Eskimos. A 3-point lead. 4.5 minutes before the halftime break. Berger holds against Brown. Stops, pops, too strong. And a foul on Peyton Weefel as Nasir El-Amin grabbed the rebound. Been a really good game thus far, though, between unseeded Esko and the 2-seed Minneapolis North. Polars are in for a battle. It's been like that all game. A lot of times you'll see teams hang tough in the first half. I can't foresee this Esko team going away. Campbell. Using the screen from Townley. El-Amin gets a step. Can't finish, can't draw the foul either. Fisher grabbing his ribs after that one. As Berger walks it across the end. Spindler bumped, now doubled by Brown. Kicks it out, three-pointer is good. Corey Kama drains the triple. Back on the other end, Wilson draws the foul and scores the bucket. And I think if they say this is on Camden Berger, now they're going to say it's on Kama. Berger thought the foul was on the floor. That was where he was so emphatic, but Willie Wilson will shoot one after he drew the foul. Wilson's had a nice first half, 6 points. Make that 7 as he splashes that free throw home. 7 points to lead all scores from Minneapolis North, and he's helped the Polars stay in this basketball game. Esko with a 28-25 lead, 3:25 to play before half. Spindler has his pocket picked by Campbell. Brown up ahead for Townley. Townley going to work. Can't get it to fall, grabs his own rebound. Kicks it out for Wilson, who thought about it and wisely backs it out. Campbell, watched by Kama, gets into the lane, misses it. Townley Jr. can't corral the miss. Stadola returns, so does Lagarde. Esko generally plays 9 or 10 guys, so pretty deep team, relatively speaking. Every single one of their coaches, their head coach, Derek Anderson, and all their assistants, each played basketball at St. Scholastica in Duluth. So definitely an experienced coaching staff in terms of playing at a high level. Berger, bumped by Campbell, gets the ball back. Decides to put it up and misses. El-Amin clears, gives for Wilson. Omar Brown feeds Townley. Tough catch by Townley. He draws another foul on Stadola. Eighth team foul, so Minneapolis North in the bonus. Townley Jr. 0 for 4 at the charity stripe today. 57% foul shooter coming in. Not finding the rims to his liking, but he gets that one to roll. Clifford Brown III returns for the Polars. Too strong on that one. And Spindler has not been scoring much, but he has been doing a good job on the glass. Elamine with his hand in the passing lane, read that one-handed pass all the way from Berger. A lot more pass fakes and deception needed from Esko. North is so quick and so good at anticipating and jumping the passing lanes. Spindler picks up the dribble. Wilson nearly had another one. Weefel switched on to by Townley. 1:51 left in the first half. Spindler wants a three. Wilson pushes ahead for the Polars. Gives for Omar Brown. Townley. Three-pointer for Clifford Brown III. Townley snatches the rebound. Can't get the foul to go. So Esko dodges a potential harm. Nice move by Lagarde. Stadola thought about it. Instead, he'll back it out with 1:19 left. 28-26. Eskimos leading the 2-seed Polars. Lagarde watched by Clifford Brown III. Berger comes back to get it. Swiped at by Townley. Can't imagine Esko will hold for one shot, but they might try. The Natives getting restless here as that layup's left short. Out for Wilson. Willie Wilson lays it in. Wilson has 9, and we're tied at 28. 40 seconds left, and now you would think Esko would try to hold for one. They're going to try to double the ball out of at the top of the key with Wilson. Weefel instead give it near side for Lagarde, who wants a triple. Well short. Townley outlets for Omar Brown, who dunks it. Omar Brown on the great outlet from Townley Jr. gives Minneapolis North a 2-point lead, their first lead since midway through this first half. Bounce for Stadola, and they tie it up. We're tied at 30, 7 seconds left to play before halftime. Nasir Elamine gets into the lane, pulls up. No good. Townley Jr. collects the rebound, but his shot wouldn't have counted anyway. A back and forth first half of action in this Class 2A quarterfinal. And Williams Arena finds us tied at halftime between the 2-seed Minneapolis North and Esko. Tied at 30 at the break. You are watching state boys basketball tournament action on PrepSpotlight.tv.
Are you looking for a career where you can help others? Do you want to find a job that gets you outside, far beyond a cubicle in an office? Well, there are plenty of great opportunities to serve communities throughout Minnesota as a peace officer. The Minnesota Chiefs of Police Association can help you explore what it's really like to be a police officer in Minnesota at wearthebadge.org. Real officers, real people, real life. Wearthebadge.org.
I'm Erin Holsnagel. I've been working for Burnsville Police Department for 11 years, almost 12. My primary position here has been working patrol. I do have several other specialties, including crisis intervention team, domestic abuse response team, our use of force team, as well as our negotiations team.
This doesn't have to end like this.
So the call essentially was of a suicidal male. He was in crisis. He was going through a really, really hard night, and he decided that the easiest way out was to make us end his life.
We're here to listen.
So we were able to get him to the ground, put him in handcuffs, and then get him on an ambulance. And that is what I love about the different roles that we play. And that is, again, going back to the transfer of sports. Hockey was a huge, huge sport for me growing up. I played throughout high school. I played for Brainerd, and then I ended up signing with Duluth in college. Having the team values and the team mentality was another aspect of this job that was exciting for me. So the reason I wear the badge is for a couple different reasons, and the main one is to help people when they're going through a hard time.
We're gonna do this together.
And my goal in all of these situations, whatever role I'm in, is to be a voice for people that don't have one. I consider that a privilege.
Working as a team under pressure doesn't only apply to sports. They are also skills learned while working at McDonald's, where you can get financial help to pursue a degree. McDonald's Archways to Opportunity provides tuition assistance to restaurant employees at universities, community colleges, and trade schools. Majors receive $3,000 per year, crew members $2,500. For more information, visit mcdonalds.com/education.
Get your news and weather at an earlier time.
Watch 45 TV local news at 9. Plan ahead with Ren Claire's forecast.
Get caught up with what's happening in your community.
Live in St. Paul, Kellen Gray.
Live in Edina, Brett Halpin.
We hope to see you.
Every night at 9.
And now let's take a look at some highlights that happened earlier today in state tournament action. Hadley just shattering school records, both single game, season, and career. Working around, and he's the first on the board today. From the wing. Again, no good. Princeton's tried that spot a couple times now. In transition, Zephyrs have it. Sam Bell up no good. Offensive rebound to Centers. And Zach Centers with the putback. Three from Williams in the corner off the back rim, no. Rebounded out in transition. Hadley, nobody to beat, and he lays it in. Ricker pulls down the rebound and takes it across the timeline from Matamita. Hadley, stutter step, hesitation off the right glass and in. Off the inbound, shot up and good from Hayden Stay. There's a bank off the glass and good for Javon Hadley. Looking around the screen, dribbles himself into the corner. That leaves a wide open teammate, Cole Chapman off the glass and good. The halfway point of the first half. Pass inside is tipped away and taken away by Ricker. Ricker passes to Bell in transition. We've got ourselves a Matamita lead, 19-18. Rebounded by Centers, heading the other way for the Zephyrs. Pass up ahead to Hadley. He gathers it, gets it back to Centers. He gets it to go, and he'll go to the line. We talked about these two high-flying, fast-paced offenses as Williams pops the three, no good. Offensive rebound by Stimler, and the second chance from the corner is good from Calvin Peterson.
Kicks it out to Josh Kamara. And now a swing to Eli Mostart. Here's a three on the way. It's good. Tommy Jensen counters the other way with Mostart. Mostart headed to NDSU to play football with his brother Will. There's another three. Tate Stalo. Ariel Bland brought it down. Countering the other way to Connor Christensen, and he drains it. 7% from beyond the arc. Both these teams better than 35% from long range. And another one from Tate Stalo. Now Roosh, he can fill it up off the bench as their sixth man. Jensen, a three. NBA range, Tommy Jensen. And Tyler Wall brings it down. Triple on the way, good. Eagles trying to weather this storm. Dobbs, the quick release, and he fills it up. High to the floor. Pickpocketed there by Andrews, and Andrews goes in for the dunk. Jensen had three pretty quickly in the first half. They have not made any sense. There's one from Christensen. Wall had the steal. Kamara runs the floor. Nice pass to Stalo. and he hits the running layup.
Working as part of a team, meeting deadlines, managing time, and taking care of customers are valuable skills for any career. You can learn them all at McDonald's. Whatever your goals and wherever they take you, a McDonald's job offers flexible hours and education benefits now that can help you build your future. For more information, go to your local McDonald's or visit restaurantjobs.mcdonalds.com. Here's an example of someone who applies what she learned at McDonald's in her career.
Hi, I'm Stacy Butler. I'm a livestock specialist in central Minnesota. I work for dairies and feedlots, and I balance rations and help the farmers figure out what to feed their animals and make sure they're profitable by doing it. My job is important because I like to say I feed the world. I started at McDonald's when I was 14. Some of the skills that I learned from McDonald's that I apply to my current job are, probably the big one is the penny profits. On these dairies, even if I can save them a penny or 2 pennies on a ration, that's huge. Customer service, the farmer is always right. Whether my ration I think looks better, I need to do exactly what they say or I don't have a job. Can you see that? You look good. So being responsible, when I say I'm going to be on a farm at 7 in the morning, I need to be there at 7. When I started at McDonald's, I never kind of anticipated that that would be my lifelong career. The goal was always be in agriculture. That was always from the start one, but McDonald's gave me those skills to get there. Every skill that I learned from McDonald's, I do apply at this current job that I have. I'm hoping that I create the beef that McDonald's wants to buy and wants to use for their stores so they can feed the world as well.
There's nothing like the excitement of high school sports! But sometimes you can't make it to the gym or the stadium! And if you can't be here, eat PrepSpotlight.tv!
And here he comes. PrepSpotlight.tv is not only your home for the most regular season high school sports action, it's your address for the most state tournament coverage in Minnesota history.
If you can't be here, be PrepSpotlight.tv!
The mission of the foundation is really to get kids involved in sports.
Herb's missions was to grow the game of hockey, and so we give these kids opportunities to come to our camps, and we just have some fun with them, and usually they come back and with a big smile on their face.
The primary thing in sports is just the ability to have friends.
It's our job is to continue the legacy and to pass on Herb's teachings and his desires to the next generation, and that generation is kids.
The mission is to give the games back to the kids, to allow them opportunities to play the game that he loves so much.
This is Herb Brooks. Yeah, I mean, this is what we all remember growing up, and he was all about broadening the base of hockey.
And look at all these kids, like, this is amazing, right? This is so cool.
I get excited every day to come to work because we're helping kids and we're helping them shape their lives through sports.
Minneapolis North basketball to start the second half of action here in this first of our Class 2A quarterfinal doubleheader here, state tournament from the barn at Williams Arena. Polars will inbound the basketball, tied at 30 with Esko, trying to avoid being upset as the number 2 seed. Eli Campbell whips it inside for Devon Townley over his left shoulder, scores. Devon Townley Jr. picking up right where he left off in that first half. He had a couple quick buckets early in the first half, and then they kind of went away from him. So in this half, look to establish him once more as the Polars lead by 2. And now they're trapping near the timeline, and Campbell steals it. Campbell takes a bump, gives for Townley on the left wing. Missed the layup. Omar Brown in for the rebound. Ball being batted and finally grabbed by Peyton Weefel. He picks up the dribble and gives it to Cam Berger. 32-30. Polars lead the Eskimos. 17-11 left in the game. Stadola didn't look like he was expecting the pass, so he picks up the dribble, and now Berger holds at the top of the key. Trevor Spindler, very quiet in that first half, feeds down low and they score. Riley Fisher, count the bucket and the foul. Fisher had 6 first half points, and he has an opportunity to add to his total. Omar Brown whistled for that personal as Fisher drills the free throw. Second personal, first team on Brown. And Esko once again goes in front. Campbell feeds Townley Jr. facing up against Stadola. Double team, kicks it to Omar Brown, top of the key. Elamine gets into the lane. They continue to probe and kick as Elamine pops from the elbow and scores. Nasir Elamine, 7 on the night for him, and the lead goes back and forth between these two teams. They got to get it across, and they finally do as Fisher gives in the corner for Stadola. He picks up the dribble, mere feet from the basket, and forces the turnover. Great outlet pass for Campbell, who lays it in. Eli Campbell running the break, and what a find from Omar Brown. Bounce pass at midcourt. Campbell collected it and walked in for the layup, and a 3-point North lead. They had 7 steals in that first half. They knock it out of bounds here, but it remains with the Eskimos. North had 7 steals in that first half. Esko turned the basketball over 8 times. So the Eskimos had to feel phenomenal that they were tied at halftime, having not taken care of the basketball very well. Spindler has it roll around the iron, and his tough night continues. Willie Wilson, who had 9 in that first half, the freshman. Worked around the perimeter, kicked back for Elamine. Gets into the lane, and a jump ball called. And I think that's the right call as Spindler reached his hand in, forced the jump ball, and the turnover. Just 3 turnovers in that first half by Minneapolis North. Pullers set up that 1-2-2 press. Camden Berger got 2 early fouls as he handles the ball, but was able to avoid further foul trouble and stay out there for the Eskimos. Weifel gives it near side for Kama, who's seen a lot of action tonight, and he overshoots Berger there, and the ball turns back over to Minneapolis North. 10th team turnover for Esko. 15:02 to left to play in the game. Minneapolis North enjoying a 3-point lead as Nasir Elamine walks it up the court. Kind of a 1-4 flat as Elamine kicks for Wilson. He pulls up from the foul line and hits again. Nasir Elamine just controlling things from the top of the key and just a couple hard dribbles and pulls up from mid-range. His mid-range game is working. He's got 9 to lead all scorers for Minneapolis North, and Derek Anderson wants to take a full timeout and talk about things. 14:27 left to play in the game. Minneapolis North has raced out to a 38-33 lead over Esko. You're watching the boys' state basketball tournament on PrepSpotlight.tv.
Studies show that the younger a person starts using drugs and alcohol, the more likely they'll become addicted. Know the signs and symptoms. Trust the experts at the Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation. Find resources at hazeldenbettyford.org/hope.
Are you sick, got the flu, do you feel not right? Hit your head so hard that you lost your sight? Who to call, where to go with your plight? The emergency room, that's right.
Fans, post your pictures and videos and tag MN Prep Spotlight to share the fun of state basketball on PrepSpotlight.tv. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at MN Prep Spotlight. I think it was a smart timeout by the Esko head coach Derek Anderson as Minneapolis North was starting to pull away. He doesn't want to have this get too out of hand, knowing that the Polars can take defense, turn it into offense, and really start exerting their will. He's got to keep, if you're Esko, you've got to keep Minneapolis North within range. North comes out of the timeout in the 2-3 zone as Camden Berger brings Riley Fisher into the free throw line. That three-pointer is no good. Good rebound by Corey Kama. He kicks it back out. And work back up top for Berger. And they'll reset and try to patiently work their offense. An interesting move by Coach Larry McKenzie for Minneapolis North to come out in a 2-3 packed-in zone, kind of go away from the pressure defense of their man-to-man that they'd been using thus far. Kind of a matchup zone here as Berger turns and shoots and scores. Cam Berger continues to be a threat offensively. Nasir El-Amin back the other way quickly. He missed the layup, goes to the deck. Fisher turns it over at midcourt. Once again, Willie Wilson, out of control pass, just out of the reach of Omar Brown. Minneapolis North had numbers. Coach McKenzie can't be happy about that. So the two teams exchange turnovers. North shooting 44% from the field, Esko 48%, so not bad percentages at all, but it's a three-point lead for the Polars with 13:24 remaining second half. And that back in that extended full-court man-to-man pressure. And switching all dribble handoffs at the top of the key. Willie Wilson, who has played a whale of a game. The freshman gives for Weefel. Kicked for Fisher, who picks up his dribble. And that is very, very difficult to do against Minneapolis North. Dribble handoffs, they're switching everything. Long three-pointer for Weefel. And Berger in there for the rebound. Berger missed the layup. Oh, he had a good look at it. Darius Hansen clears. Eli Campbell sprints through the center court. He bumps into Berger, and if that's on Berger, that will, I believe, be his third. And that is going to be a shooting foul, so Eli Campbell will get his first trip to the foul line today. So Camden Berger managed to avoid picking up his third until 12:36 in the second half. So Eli Campbell knocks down the first. 17.3 points a game, 4 rebounds, 3 steals. Got 100 steals coming into this game. As we said, 102 three-pointers. Leads the team in points, steals, assists, made threes. And nearly 76% free throw shooter. 1 of 2 on this trip. It's 39-35 Polars. Back in that zone, and Campbell again gets a deflection. And as many steals as North has had, they've had just as many or more deflections. So long and very active in the passing lanes. James Lagarde checks back in. His quickness has been an asset for Esko tonight. Berger gives it for Spindler. Three-pointer for Weefel. Good. Peyton Weefel, his second triple of the night. Brings Esko back within 1. That may be the great equalizer for the Eskimos. How many threes can they get? Campbell steps back from long range. Omar Brown hustles for the rebound. Gets it underneath for Townley Jr. Can't finish the layup, but he will go to the free throw line. Devon Townley Jr., a handful inside, but Omar Brown, it's not showing up on the score sheet. He's got 4 points. But he has just been everywhere with the hustle plays, and that was another one. Tracking down the offensive rebound in among 3 white jerseys and feeding immediately Devon Townley Jr. down low. And Townley Jr. continues to struggle from the foul stripe. Just 1 of 7 now. Berger will check out as Kama returns. Berger will sit, leading all scorers with 12 points. Townley 0 for 2. And Spindler will, with Berger out, be responsible for bringing the ball up the court. And a jump ball called, and it'll go back to Minneapolis North as Derek Anderson wanted a foul, but Spindler just lost his footing at midcourt, and then Brown tied him up and got the ball back for the Polars. Josh Hodges returns to replace Elamine. So that'll mean Campbell will take over point guard responsibilities. Just 3 fouls in this half thus far, and we're under 12 minutes to play in the game. Campbell left-hand dribble. Probing. Gets to the rack, and a great block by Fisher. Tries to save it in bounce. Good hustle by North to recover it. Campbell from the left corner. No good. A shot from distance not falling tonight for North. And now James Lagarde will come back to take this. Quickest dribbling guard on this Esko team. Maybe the best handles as well. He hands for Kama top of the key. Kama guarded by Clifford Brown III, and again they're just switching all those dribble handoffs at the top around the perimeter. Spindler bumped, and Townley Jr. takes it away from him. Devon Townley Jr. misses the dunk. Oh, he tried to flush it with the left hand, and he got caught on the rim. North still pressuring. They've got to get it across the timeline, and Esko finally does as Weefel will give it to Spindler. Back for Weefel. And now Esko just trying to regroup. Kama holding, 10:44 left to play in the game. A 1-point Minneapolis North lead. And again a deflection. This time Weefel gets it back. Kick to the corner for Lagarde. Back for Weefel, right wing. Hits! Maybe a foul could have been called, but Peyton Weefel instead knocks down his 3rd 3 of the game and gives Esko a 2-point lead. 10:20 left to play. Elamine and Wilson set to check back in. They've been 2 of the better players here tonight for Minneapolis North. Peyton Weefel and his 3-point shooting have been huge for Esko. Coach Larry McKenzie not happy, and he calls timeout. We'll take it with him. 10:06 left to play. Esko leading the 2 seed, Minneapolis North, 41-39 here on PrepSpotlight.tv.
Wherever your dreams take you, in whatever field you choose, McDonald's can help make it happen.
Guys, how are you today?
Archways to Opportunity provides tuition assistance to McDonald's restaurant employees to use at trade schools, universities, and community colleges. Managers receive $3,000 per year, crew members $2,500. For more information on tuition assistance and other Archways benefits, visit mcdonalds.com/education.
Out of the timeout, don't forget that the winner of this game will play on Friday night at the Target Center against the winner of our next game between the 3rd seed Perham and Redwood Valley. We hope you stay tuned for that on Prep Spotlight TV. Minneapolis North trails by 2. They have the basketball as Nasir Elamine probes. He's back in there. Lagarde takes a charge. Elamine lowered his shoulder trying to get to the rim, and Lagarde stepped in, took the charge. That's no easy task at just 5'7". But Elamine picks up his 2nd foul. And the ball turns back over to the Eskimos. Ooh, a dangerously lofted pass, and Omar Brown takes it away. It goes back to Weefel as Weefel steals it right back. Weefel gets away with one there. He picks up the dribble, hounded again by Omar Brown. Finally gives it to Spindler. Spindler gets a step on Hodges. North continuing to pick up the defensive pressure. Lagarde watched by Omar Brown. He gets a step and lays it in. Lagarde bank shot to give Esko their largest lead of the 2nd half. Wilson all the way to the rack, and Lagarde this time whistled for the block. Wilson a little slow to get up down there. Wilson just took it out of the net. That's the thing about this North team. They're right back at you so fast as Wilson kind of grabbing his right hip He's 1 for 1 at the free throw stripe today. Had a great first half. All 9 of his points in the first half. Been quiet here in the second half, but his defensive intensity and his aggression getting to the rim has been one of the keys offensively for the Polars tonight as he swishes the first. Wilson, 8.62 points a game, 3.52 rebounds. Now 32 of 41 on the season from the free throw line. And he's one of those guys, he's got 60-plus steals. 4 players in this Minneapolis North lineup with better than 60 steals on the season. Wilson buries them both and brings the Polars back within 2. 9:08 left to play. Camden Berger back in there to handle the basketball. Berger and Lagarde have been the best ball handlers tonight for Esko, trying to break that Minneapolis North press. Berger picks up his dribble and gives for Lagarde. They got to get it across, and they do. Lagarde, I believe, stepped on Eli Campbell's foot. He went down. The travel's called after he lost his footing. And I couldn't tell whether he slipped or he stepped on Campbell's foot. It looked like the latter. Either way, the ball turns back over to Minneapolis North. And again, that pressure bursts pipes, and they're trying to wear down Esko. Devon Townley Jr. once again the spin move and lay in. That's been his go-to over his left shoulder, that power dribble over his left shoulder. He's got 11, or he's got 9 rather. Elamine nearly forcing the turnover, and finally Derek Anderson comes over and takes a timeout, trying to get his troops organized in this press break. We'll be back momentarily. We're tied at 43. 8:25 left to play, second half on PrepSpotlight.tv.
Did you know teenage girls are not immune to addiction? If you're worried your teen might be using alcohol or other drugs, trust the experts at the Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation. Find resources at hazeldenbettyford.org/hope.
Are you sick? Got the flu? Do you feel not right? Hit your head so hard that you lost your sight? Who to call? Where to go with your plight? The emergency room, that's right.
Minneapolis North on a 4-0 run to tie this game at 43. 8:25 remaining in the basketball game as Cameron Berger holds against Omar Brown. Trapped near the timeline, picks up the dribble. That can't be what Derek Anderson wanted, and he's bailed out with a foul call. Probably the right call as Omar Brown reached in, but North so good at using the sideline as an extra defender. And Esko has been a little careless as far as picking up the basketball to try to get away from pressure when they're not sure exactly what they're going to do with it. North back in that extended man-to-man zone, or man-to-man. They've been trapping at various turns, trying to keep it unpredictable as Berger holds against Omar Brown, who's got the high ball pressure. Esko trying to get a shot off at this point. 7:48 left. Eskimos patiently working around near side. Spindler has it tapped from behind by a Brown. Omar Brown, Euro stepping his way to the cup. He's done that a couple times tonight, back tapping and then leaking out for a lay-in. A 2-point Polars lead. And is this pressure starting to wear down the Eskimos? Spindler gives for Berger. Gets into the lane, back tap by Campbell again. Loose ball picked up by Wilson. Campbell, great pass for Townley Jr. who lays it in. And Camden Berger is down on the other end. So we have an official's timeout as Berger, who is on his hands and knees at the foul line. And while they attend to him, we'll step aside. 47-43, Minneapolis North. 7:04 left to play in the game. You're watching the state tournament on PrepSpotlight.tv.
Your home for Minnesota high school sports is PrepSpotlight.tv. With dozens of free live stream games each week, catch all the action live or on demand. And if you miss an episode of Minnesota Prep Spotlight, you can see them all right here on PrepSpotlight.tv.
Every Sunday night at 9:30, catch Minnesota Prep Spotlight on 45 TV. We'll have all the highlights as well as feature stories on athletes, coaches, and others who are shaping the Minnesota Prep sports world. Filmed on location at a different school each week, Minnesota Prep Spotlight is the most comprehensive sports show in the state. Tune in Sundays at 9:30 p.m. on 45 TV or catch every episode online at PrepSpotlight.tv.
Minneapolis North on an 8-0 run. And Cam Berger, the heart and soul of this Eskimos team, had to be helped off, and he went right to the locker room. Long three for Peyton Weefel. Swish. Peyton Weefel, 4 triples tonight. They push it quickly back up the floor. And now they'll regroup with Eli Campbell, top of the key. Elamine, right wing, gives back for Campbell. 47-46. Esko not going away. But that 8-0 run sparked by the defense, the pressure defense of Minneapolis North. Double dribble by Tavon Townley Jr. He claims that it had gotten hit, and now he's being subbed as Omar Brown took a quick breather, checks right back in. So a potentially big loss for Esko, as Cam Berger, who'd been their leading scorer, the second leading scorer, I beg your pardon, with 12, and also a huge help in terms of breaking this Minneapolis North pressure. Brown gets bumped, no call, and it goes off Weefel's hand and out of bounds. And the Eskimos just look a little rattled. And Minneapolis North will do that to you. 47-46 Polars. 5 minutes, 45 seconds remaining in the game. Elamine drops it down low for Wilson, who has it stripped. Saved right back to Wilson, misses the layup. And the rebound torn down and given to Spindler. Spindler able to break the double and get it across the timeline. Lagarde shoves off against Clifford Brown III. And I think they're going to say a personal foul on the floor. Townley Jr. checks back in. Coach McKenzie only goes 7 deep, 7-8 deep, but he uses his subs early and often. Three-pointer from the top of the key is good by Spindler. Trevor Spindler, his first triple of the night. 6-foot junior forward gives Esko the lead, 49-47. They respond with a 6-0 run of their own. Elamine pulls up and hits. We're tied. Nasir Elamine, mid-range game. 49 apiece. 4:56 left to go at the barn. Campbell knocks it out into the Esko bench. So it remains Eskimos basketball. What a game we've had. Tied at 30 at half. A game of runs. Each team trading punches. And with 4:49 left, we're tied at 49. And good to see Cam Berger back on the floor. Omar Brown goes down and Berger picks up his 4th foul. And he can't believe it. Cam Berger will get subbed out for Stadola. And we'll see when Coach Derek Anderson decides to bring Berger back. Elamine pulls up just inside the arc and hits! Nasir Elamine! 13 points now for him to lead all scorers for the Polars. Nearly a turnover here. Weefel Gives for Lagarde. Back to Weefel. He pulls up and answers. Peyton Weefel, 16 for him. 4 threes on the game. Elamine probes, pulls up, leaves that one short. Grabbed by Kama. Townley said he knocked it off Kama, but he thought there should have been a foul. Minneapolis North sets up in their 1-2-2. 4 minutes left in the game. 51 apiece. The 2 seed trying to remain alive and advance to the state semifinals, or can Esko pull the upset? Spindler working against Wilson. Lagarde watched by Brown. He gets a step. Picks up the dribble. It's tapped by Brown and stolen by Campbell. Eli Campbell can't finish with a layup. Townley Jr. grabs it, lays it in. Devon Townley Jr. has been an animal on the offensive boards, and he puts it back, the stick back. Gives Minneapolis North a 53-51 lead. Don't go anywhere, folks. You're watching state tournament basketball on Prep Spotlight TV.
Did you know teenage girls are not immune to addiction? If you're worried your teen might be using alcohol or other drugs, trust the experts at the Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation. Find resources at hazeldenbettyford.org/hope.
Are you sick? Got the flu? Do you feel not right? Hit your head so hard that you lost your sight? Who to call? Where to go with your plight? The emergency room, that's right.
A Devon Townley stick back to give him 13 points for the game has given Minneapolis North a 2-point lead over Esko. Polars trying to fend off the pesky Eskimos. 3:31 remaining in regulation. Minneapolis North has just taken a 2-point lead. They had gone on an 8-0 run to take a 4-point lead, to erase a 4-point deficit and take a 4-point lead. Esko responded with a 6-0 run of their own. And now North tied it and has taken lead once more. Lagarde remaining in there for his ball handling skills, breaks the pressure as Minneapolis North kind of backs off, content to play in the half court. 3:18 left. James Lagarde crossing over against Willie Wilson. Kama, watched by Omar Brown. Brown, great hands. Kama, down low for Fisher, misses it, gets it back. Can't finish the layup, but he does draw the personal. Now, who will this be on for Minneapolis North? No one in severe foul trouble right now. It is on Eli Campbell, his third, so most anyone has on the Polars is 3 fouls as Riley Fisher steps to the free throw line and buries the first. Fisher 3 for 3 at the charity stripe tonight. Make that 4 for 4 as he coolly sinks both, and we're tied at 53. 2:55 left to play. Wilson holds right wing. Townley turns, gets into the lane once again, spins over the left shoulder. Didn't have the right angle, so he couldn't finish, but he did draw the foul on Fisher, so he'll go back to the free throw line. He's a load, and Riley Fisher has done his best, but Townley Jr., the definitive size advantage against the 6'3 Fisher. So now big free throws for Devon Townley Jr., who's 1 of 8 tonight, but he gets that one to go. Can you make them when they count? And they certainly do here with just 2:44 remaining in the game. Townley with his second. 1 for 2. That one rolls out. But he gives Minneapolis North a 1-point lead. Spindler across the timeline. Trapped by Wilson and Brown. Brown strips him. Campbell for Wilson. Wilson gets the dunk to roll in. Not sure that was the best decision by the freshman as that nearly popped out, but the two-handed flush by Willie Wilson, and now Derek Anderson wants to take a timeout. 56-53, Minneapolis North, a 3-point lead, 2:19 left. Once again, defense leading to offense. How many times have we said that tonight? And again, Omar Brown, the catalyst at the top of that zone, switching everything. The hands, just knows when to reach in and take the basketball away, and his deflection went right to Eli Campbell. A great outlet pass up for Willie Wilson, and Wilson would have, I thought he was going to go the safe route and lay it in, but he decided to try to dunk that. It nearly popped out, but it went back down, and the Polars on a 3-0 run, and a 5-2 run really. 56-53, they have a 3-point lead.
Accommodations window near section 108. Tickets will be sold for 45 minutes following the end of the game. That's Esko fans. If they win tickets, Friday's game on sale.
And again, the winner will play in the Class 2A state semifinals on Friday night at 8 p.m. at Target Center. The loser of this game drops to the consolation bracket to take on the loser of our next 2A quarterfinal tomorrow night at 8 at Concordia College. We'll have those consolation games for you on PrepSpotlight.tv. James Lagarde crosses over, tries to get to the rim, and tied up by Nasir El-Amin. The basketball stays with the Eskimos. 2:10 remaining in the game. Lagarde is really the Esko's best offense as their quickest guard. So he's handling the ball as much as possible. His inbounds pass is stolen by El-Amin. Nasir El-Amin draws the foul, goes down hard. But he pops to his feet. And the senior with 13 points tonight, most of them sweet mid-range pull-up jumpers. We'll head to the foul line after he forced that turnover. Lagarde just kind of lobbed it in, tried to float it over the defense. El-Amin read it, stole it, and earned a trip to the foul line. And which team can hit free throws down the stretch? El-Amin leaves the first short. He's 3 for 5 tonight. And you're wondering if that elbow, he's grabbing the right elbow, you're wondering if that affects the shot. So he left that first free throw short. 76% free throw shooter on the night, and he is definitely in some pain as he keeps shaking that right arm. Left that free throw short too, so score remains the same, 56-53, under 2 minutes to play. Fisher turns against Townley Jr., loses the basketball, tied up, back to the Polars. Fisher turned and tried to rip through, and when he did, Townley tied him up. Ball went to the floor. Fisher and Townley jumped on it. And the hustle by Devon Townley Jr., the sophomore center, turns the basketball back over to the black and blue. .137 left. Now, North in no hurry with a 3-point lead, just trying to work some clock and get a good shot. Sort of a dribble handoff using picks at the top. Eli Campbell left alone. Back for Nasir El-Amin. Dribbles off his foot, he picks it up. Spindler all over him. Gives it near side for Willie Wilson. 1:09 left. North content to just pass it amongst their guards and do screens down low. Finally, Willie Wilson is fouled. North was content to just pass it around and take the air out of the ball. Finally, the freshman is fouled. Townley Jr. takes out El-Amin, who continues to clutch that right arm. He went hard on that foul. Went down hard on the floor, and He is in some obvious discomfort. Wilson steps to the foul line. He sank a couple tonight. Long in the first, Clifford Brown the third in there, and he has it ripped away by Fisher.
1 minute to play.
1 minute to go in the game. A 3-point lead for Minneapolis North. Spindler at the top of the key. Watched by Brown. Gets into the lane. Foul called on Omar Brown. Just the 6th team foul on Minneapolis North, so with 50.2 seconds left. 4th on Brown, 6th team foul. No free throws yet as Brown knocks it out of bounds. Dangerous pass by Lagarde. And we'll switch sides of the basket and do it again. Took just a second off the clock. Timeout by Minneapolis North. Don't go anywhere, folks. 49 seconds left to play. The Polars with a 3-point lead here on PrepSpotlight.tv.
Did you know teenage girls are not immune to addiction? If you're worried your teen might be using alcohol or other drugs, trust the experts at the Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation. Find resources at hazeldenbettyford.org/hope.
Are you sick? Got the flu? Do you feel not right? Hit your head so hard that you lost your sight? Who to call? Where to go with your plight? The emergency room, that's right.
.4 seconds left in regulation. Minneapolis North, the 2 seed in Class 2A, leading Esko 56-53. Esko with 17 fouls, Minneapolis North with 6. Possession arrow is in favor of the Eskimos, so if North should tie them up, it would remain with the unseeded Esko Eskimos, who have put in a game effort. And Peyton Weefel, his 16 points and 4 3-pointers have really kept them in the game. North has done their thing, forced plenty of turnovers and converted those turnovers into points, but now we'll see what Coach Anderson drew up in the huddle. Spindler from the top of the key. No good. Townley Jr. rips down the rebound and is fouled. And that's actually very fortunate for Esko, as that ball had come out to El Amin and he had nobody in front of him. So instead, Townley Jr. picks himself up off the deck and will walk to the other end to shoot free throws. Getting some towels from the Esko bench to clean the sweat off in the lane. 44.5 seconds left. Minneapolis North trying to add to the 3-point lead. It's been 56-53 for a couple minutes now. We were tied at 30 at half, and both teams have made runs here in the second half. Now it's nervy times for the Polars as they try to ice this away from the foul line. No good. Spindler collects the rebound. Brown right there, moving his feet. Gonna hound him, make him turn all the way up the court. 35 seconds left, a 3-point lead. Spindler misses the layup. Wilson grabs the rebound and is fouled. With 29.2 seconds remaining, as El Amin continues to shake out that right arm, the freshman Willie Wilson, who had been perfect from the free throw line but had missed his last free throw, walks to the other end for the 1-and-1. All important free throws with this still a 1-possession game. I think Spindler just wasn't sure where he was as Wilson rolls in that free throw. The 6'3" freshman guard has been huge tonight. He and Townley Jr. with 14 apiece for the Polars. One more for Wilson, and he coolly buries that. 58-53, the 2 seed Minneapolis North. 27 seconds left in the game. Spindler across the M. Hands for Weefel, switched on to by Brown. And timeout Esko, a 20-second timeout. We're going to keep it here. I want to remind you folks that fans can post your pictures and videos and tag MN Prep Spotlight to share the fun of state basketball on PrepSpotlight.tv. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at MN Prep Spotlight. 20.7 seconds remaining here in the first of our quarterfinal doubleheader here at the Barn, Williams Arena. We've had state tournament basketball all day. I hope you've enjoyed our coverage. The winner of this game will move on to the state semifinals to take on the winner of our next game between Perham and Redwood Valley. And that will be coming up at 8 o'clock here at the Barn. Sideline right for Esko. Spindler will inbounds with 20 seconds left. They need a quick basket and foul and hope that they can extend this game. Peyton Weefel gets it. Watched by Campbell, doubled by Wilson. Shoots off the front iron. El Amin skies for the rebound and is fouled by Fisher. Nasir El Amin battling through pain from a previous foul. Gutting it out defensively. Skies for that offensive rebound. Fisher trying to force the turnover. Fouled him. And the Minneapolis North faithful applauding as El Amin steps to the free throw line trying to ice this one away. He can't make the first. Clearly his shot affected by the fall that he took on that transition opportunity. "13 points tonight, most of them in the second half. Knocks home that one. 4 free throws tonight for him. 59-53, 14 seconds left. Kama misses the layup. Campbell grabs the loose ball. Willie Wilson puts the exclamation point on this quarterfinal win for Minneapolis North. A gutsy performance for Esko, but Minneapolis North, led by Willie Wilson, 17 points, hangs on for the 61-53 win, pulling away late to take the state quarterfinal here at Williams Arena. Again, I want to remind you that coming up at 8 o'clock, we'll have our second game. Minneapolis North will move on to play the winner of our next game between Perham and Redwood Valley right here. We're at Target Center on Friday night at 8 p.m. Minneapolis North moves on to the 2A state semifinals with a 61-53 win over Esko. They await the winner of our next 2A quarterfinal between Perham and Redwood Valley coming up at 8 on PrepSpotlight.tv.
The mission of the foundation is really to get kids involved in sports.
Herb's missions was to grow the game of hockey, and so we give these kids opportunities to come to our camps, and we just have some fun with them, and usually they come back and with a big smile on their face.
The primary thing in sports is just the ability to have friends.
It's our job is to continue the legacy and to pass on Herb's teachings and his desires to the next generation. And that generation is kids.
The mission is to give the games back to the kids, to allow them opportunities to play the game that he loves so much.
This is Herb Brooks. Yeah, I mean, this is what we all remember growing up, and he was all about broadening the base of hockey.
And look at all these kids, like this is amazing, right? This is so cool.
I get excited every day to come to work because we're helping kids and we're helping them shape their lives through sports.
The 2-seed Minneapolis North in Class 2A forced 23 turnovers and swiped the ball 18 times, taking it away from unseeded Esko, who fought hard and had it as close as 3 late. We're tied, in fact, at 49. But Minneapolis North manages to put the clamps on down the stretch and pull away late. And they take this state quarterfinal 61-53. They were led by freshman Willie Wilson, 17 points. And fellow starters Nasir Elamine and Devon Townley Jr. chipped in 14 apiece to lead the Polars. So maybe not the masterpiece that Coach Larry McKenzie would have drawn up, but credit to Esko for really battling and fighting hard and giving the Polars all they could ask for and more in what was a very entertaining state quarterfinal. And don't forget, that's part of a doubleheader. And our next game coming up at 8 o'clock. So Minneapolis North moves on to the 2A state semifinals on Friday night on the strength of a 61-53 win over unseeded Esko. They await the winner of our next 2A quarterfinal coming up at 8 between Perham and Redwood Valley right here on Prep Spotlight TV.
PrepSpotlight.tv in partnership with the Minnesota State High School League and 45 TV presents coverage of the 2019 boys basketball state quarterfinals. This comprehensive coverage is supported by the McDonald's Franchise Owners of Minnesota. Further your education and achieve your dreams with McDonald's, archways to opportunity. Today's coverage is also brought to you in part by the Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation, treating addiction, transforming lives. The Urgency Room, in fast, home soon. And Minnesota Chiefs of Police Association, dedicated to the ideals of professional policing.